I think some of the things that I've done, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm glad that that wasn't videotaped.
Yeah.
You can't be a kid because their thought is always, oh, I don't want to say something dumb. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to do something wrong because the whole world could find out.
Yeah.
That's not really an exaggeration with how
It's not.
Something up and it can go viral. That's crazy. They don't even think like kids anymore.
Welcome to the Coachability Code podcast. This is your host, Jordan Ring. Coaches, you ready to be coached? Let's go. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me again on this podcast. Today is another very special guest, Kathy. Thank you so much for being here. Super appreciate your time. If you could just introduce yourself briefly before we dive in, that'd be great.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, Jordan. I'm excited for us to be able to chat. My name is Kathy Van Benthuysen. I have two kids. So first, I'm married to my very best friend. We have two kids. They are 22 and 18. I taught for 30 years, fourth grade the entire time. I joke, I don't know if I did something wrong, something right, because I couldn't get out of fourth grade. And I have my own business. I actually retired 5 years early because I saw what tech was doing to kids. And I have my own business, which I'm at now, which is we have Conversation for schools. And then we have Digital Prep Academy also.
Awesome. And we'll dive into more of that. I know a little bit about it, but I'm excited to dig in even more. I did not know. So I was learning something new about people. I did not know that you were only in fourth grade. That's super interesting. I love my fourth grade teacher. My fifth grade teacher was my favorite teacher, and she moved to sixth grade with me. So there's a fun fact about me randomly. But I loved her so much. I think she loved the class so much. She said, I have to move up with you. And we were all like, no way. So that was fun. But
that's amazing.
All right, Kathy, favorite book, favorite movie. If you have them, it's fine if you want to list a couple as well. And then one weird thing about you that you're comfortable sharing that maybe not a lot of people know.
Okay. So favorite book, I can't just pick one. So
of course.
One of them is the Bible, because come on, every time you read it, you get like something different from it. I love
always.
It's amazing. I love the book Giftology by John Ruhlin, and it is about gift giving and just the reason behind it and how you can do it even better. So love that one. And one of my all-time favorites, I'm in a book club with retired teachers, and we were talking, funny that you asked me this question, about our all-time favorite books. And I said mine is Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. Favorite movie, that was an easy one for me. It is called Somewhere in Time with Jane Seymour and Christopher Reeves. And if you have never seen it, it's an older movie, not black and white older, but just an older movie. It is so good. And if they travel back in time, and you just have to watch. I don't want to spoil for anyone. And
I will definitely want to watch that. That sounds very interesting. It sounds like almost familiar, but I don't think I've seen it.
It was so funny. We just watched it again recently because my husband Derek's like, oh my gosh, it's on. He's like, let's watch it.
Yeah.
And something weird about me. So I was asking Derek, I said, what do you think should be the weird thing about me? So it's like, what is the Shakespeare like? Let me count the ways that I love you. And he'll go like this. And he goes, the weird things about you. I'm like, don't count them. Just tell me something weird. So he said, I think, what about the driver's license thing? And I said, oh my gosh, that's right. So I have my driver's license memorized. And it actually got me out of a ticket one time because I was speeding. Okay. I'm not even denying it. I was. Pulls up and he comes to the window and I say, hey, I know I'm speeding. I'm not denying it. If I can tell you my driver's license number, will you not give me a ticket? And he kind of tilts his head. He goes, all right. He goes, game on. So I hand him my license. I rattle off the numbers. He looks at me and he hands it back and he goes, please slow down.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So don't ask me why
that.
I decided to memorize it, but I did, and it got me out of a ticket.
That is a great, I feel like everyone should do that. It's just to have it, because it's not that, like, you should be able to memorize that, right? Like that, yeah. I never would have thought that would be necessary, though, so.
Well, I mean, also I could probably, drive a little slower is not,
Yeah, but
speed.
no.
I have slowed down since then.
Yeah.
That was from years ago.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, Kathy. So you talked about it a little bit in brief, but want to look into it a little bit more. If someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, Kathy, what do you do?" How do you normally answer that question for that person?
So, like to keep it short so that people are, their eyes glassing over.
Hmm.
So I would say, I help concerned parents by coaching their kids before the phone or social media shows up. And then when I say that, if people are like, oh, well, tell me a little bit more,
Hmm.
then I can go into it because really I see parents struggle all the time with when and how to give their kid their first phone or to give them social media. And then I'm saying, like, I prepare them with coaching. I prepare kids with coaching. I'm a 20-year mom, a 30-year teacher, and I have 67,000 hours working with kids.
Mm.
And so that kind of opens it. And they're like, oh, well, how do we do it? And I just always say the first step is to take the phone readiness challenge. And it's this free quiz and it's a challenge for the kid and the parent. They take this identical, we called it an assessment, but then we realized no kid wants to sit down for an assessment.
Yeah, it's not as much fun.
so, so we call it a challenge for kids. And it's just based on these four pillars of, we call it of readiness. And the first one is responsibility. Like, how do you handle things that you should be doing without being told? Like, do you make your bed? Do you do your homework?
Hmm.
Do you, make your own breakfast for lunch? And then the second one is emotional maturity. How do you handle when you're left out or you're told no? Do you have a meltdown? The third part is tech awareness. Can you tell me about dopamine or attention engineers or how the algorithms are designed to manipulate you? And then the fourth one is character. Are you a person of honesty, integrity, kindness, even when no one's looking? And then the child takes it when they get a score, get a report, and the parents take it about the child. And
Mm.
then it becomes no longer, oh, I want a phone because I'm 12. I want a phone because I'm 13, or I want social media. It's now I see that I'm actually not ready, but what can I do to get ready? And
Hmm.
then that's when we lead them to Digital Prep Academy, which has two courses. One is for before the child gets their phone, and the second course is before they get social media.
Yeah. So is the reason someone would seek out your services then it sounds like it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I'm sure there's nuance there too, but it sounds like the kid's like, I want a phone, mom, or I want a phone, dad. And then the parents go, I don't know if you're ready. And then they start seeking out and more information kind of about that. And then they find
Yes.
you, hopefully, to kind of walk them through that process.
Yes, because I think most parents know in their hearts that it's not a good idea just to hand over a phone
Yeah, yeah.
and that's the thing, and I say this all the time, Jordan, that I know I'm just a little bit older than you, but when my kids were growing up and really technology was like starting with them,
Hmm.
like in their age group, and we didn't give them technology, but let's say that we did. Let's say that we give one of them an iPad and they start to have a meltdown when I take it away. It wasn't like I could call my mom or dad and say, hey, mom and dad, what did you do when you took the iPad away from me and
Good
I had a
point.
meltdown? They'd be
Good
like,
point. Yeah.
what? So this isn't like literally when I say this is a new problem that parents are
Mm.
facing. So they're kind of going, okay, well, what do I do? And they're looking around and everyone else is giving their kids phones. Everyone else is giving their kids social media. So they go, oh, it must be fine. It,
Yeah.
it must be okay. Everyone else is doing it. But the thing is, it's not. It's
Yeah.
not okay because we look at this generation, we have the most anxiety, the most depression. We're seeing like, so there was a study done by the CDC in, it was from 2011 to 2021. And they only just released it in 2023. So it hasn't been out that long. And what they did was they really researched this. So if you look at the data from, let's just go back to like the 1970s, there's a pretty steady line of depression, hospitalizations as a result of it, suicides is pretty kind of steady. And all of a sudden, 2011, it goes like this.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, okay, well, what happened in 2011? Hmm. Well, let's look at all the social media that is now available. And this is the first generation where kids are growing up with phones all the time. So when like
Mm-hmm.
they one of them was that 57% of female students surveyed said that they feel persistently sad and hopeless. Persistently, like
Mm.
not
Wow.
bad day here and there. They said that it was close to 50% of kids say I don't enjoy life. How is that? Well, it's because now they're being given something that they are not prepared for. I mean, mentally and emotionally, we are not prepared to have all this information coming at us all the time and people having access to us all the
Yeah.
time. And so, and we can't like it shouldn't even be a question of like, oh, why are kids more anxious, more depressed? Because we've put something in their lives that they're just no one really can handle all of that.
Yeah.
So parents don't realize that there is a solution. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like people say, oh, like we did a call the other night and the mom said, oh, I didn't even realize that this was available. I mean, she wasn't
Yeah.
even talking about the courses. She was just talking about,
Like this. Yeah.
yeah, like the
Like
readiness
there's
challenge.
someone that can help me.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and it was funny because she said, "Oh, I didn't even realize that this is available." And that's what it is parents don't even realize that there's something. So, like someone said to me yesterday, "Well, some of this is so hard that it's just easier to ignore it." I'm like, ignore it in the short term,
Yeah.
yes, but then what are the ramifications down the road? And so
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to do is like, we do have a solution for you. You don't have to just hand over the phone or allow them to start making social media accounts. There is something you can do to prepare them ahead of time. And we believe that the best part is that parents don't have to do it. You don't have to be a tech expert because that's part of it is, well, I don't know how to do it. I mean, I can hit a softball, but I wasn't going to teach my son how to hit a baseball. I sent him to somebody. You
Yeah.
know, my oldest loves art. I don't ask me art stuff. So we send her to classes to have someone else teach. So this is what we do as parents is when we don't know how to do it, we hire a coach. And so that's what we're saying is that's what we do. It's okay. You don't need to be a tech expert. You don't need to be the bad guy and saying you can't have it. We will coach your kids through this.
And I just think it's so important. I had a few things to say to that. The first thing is that just as general advice, I think it fits. If everybody else is doing something, then it's probably a reason not to do it, right? I mean, that's what I think. If everyone says that, it's fine. Question it. Maybe it's not fine. I think maybe anyone listening to this episode or to this podcast as coaches, we know this and realize this, but just I think it deserved to be said again that that's just something to think about. Number two, thinking about like how I think it's such the right time for something like this because I mean, when I was 16, I started working and I bought my own phone, but it was different. Like it was completely different era because it was just a cell phone with the ability to send text messages and stuff. And I didn't deal with social media and stuff in high school at all. I didn't deal with that until the end, pretty much exactly you said 2011. I graduated college in 2011. And I remember at that time, that's when the smartphones were starting. I didn't even have a smartphone starting college. I think by the end I did. Maybe it was like a slightly smartphone or something. But it was right around that time. I always think back and say, man, I am so glad that I didn't have to go through that because believe it or not, I don't know if I've shared much about this on LinkedIn, but I was bullied when I was in middle school, even
Mm.
though I was taller and like, why are kids picking on me? I don't know. I was bullied then. And I had a teacher that saved me through that. She was amazing. And a resource officer came in and it was a short-term thing that was fixed. But I can't even imagine how it would have been with social media. And I don't even want to think about it because it would have just been much more insidious. And I can only imagine some kids, if they're aware enough, saying, you know what? I don't want that. I don't want that
Mhm.
in my life. And that's hard for a kid, I would guess,
Yeah.
to have that as like, okay, everyone else is getting a phone. I have to kind of have the awareness there. I love what you guys do. I think it's just so valuable.
So there was so when you said like imagine if there was social media, like when we were going through school. So I remember I was thinking about this and it wasn't funny, but it kind of was funny.
Yeah.
There was a freshman in high school and there was this group of sophomore boys and they were always, they were sat at another lunch table and always like being, goofy. Do you remember the orange drink that you could get in the cafeteria? Like whatever was like, it wasn't orange juice. It was some type of like sugar water orange.
It was like
Well,
Tang or something.
yeah, like something like that.
Yeah, I
So
remember that.
this one guy gets up to throw his lunch or get something in the cafeteria line, and I watch them open it up and pour just a little bit of orange on a seat. He comes back, he sits in it, he jumps up. Oh, by the way, he was wearing white pants.
Okay, of
And
course.
they are howling over it, and they're like, "You have an orange butt." Okay, so we're all okay. He was embarrassed, but I remember he went to the gym and like put his gym shorts on or whatever. But okay, so that was that moment and it was done. But
Hmm.
if it was today, Jordan, could you imagine that would have been videotaped, that would
Yeah,
have been
yeah,
put out and something that they're just being kids or being like dopey. And that could have turned into a whole thing. And that's what the kids are dealing with today is they don't even, you can't make stupid mistakes. I think some of the things that I've done, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm glad that that wasn't videotaped.
yeah, yeah.
You can't even be a kid. Because their thought is always, oh, I don't want to say something dumb. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to do something wrong because the whole world could find out about it.
Yeah.
That's not really an exaggeration with how
It's
you
not.
can put something up and it can go viral. That's crazy. They don't even think like kids anymore because you're not even allowed to because you have to constantly be worried about, you know, what about like when people take pictures and this makes me crazy. Sorry if anyone does this, but when 6-year-olds and they're like in a picture,
Yeah, like the duck face. Yeah,
why why are you doing that? Who
yeah.
told you at what 6-year-olds need to be? Come on, because it's a little bit more mature, but where did they get it from? Because they're seeing all this stuff like, oh, that's how you're supposed to make smile in a picture and do that. Like, they have too much. They have too much
Hmm.
available to them.
Do you have people come to you more of like the middle or the end of the process? Say like a family got the kid a phone and then maybe someone realized, oh, there's some issues here I didn't picture. Do you have people come to you like in that stage?
Like I'm gonna tell you honestly, once you give the phone, Jordan, it is really hard to get it back because our
Hmm.
program
Hmm.
is based on before the child gets the phone. So we do have a program for parents where a parent can go through their child, but we find that it's really difficult to get parents to go through it. And again, I get it. They're busy. They're,
Yeah.
they don't know what to do, even though like we do lay it out for them. But it's almost like, well, this is too hard and I don't want to have to deal with it. So when we created Digital Prep Academy, it's if you have already given your child the phone, so that's what we're saying it's before the phone. So that's the carrot in front of them.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hey, go through this course and
True.
then you can get a phone. Go through this course and then you can get social media. So if you already have those things, really, what is the incentive for the child to go through it? Unless, and I realize that there are some people that are, really strong and say, no, I'm taking the phone away and I'm going to make them then
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
amazing. But if they already have it, no, Jordan, I would find it would be very, very difficult.
So let's think about your, let's say the best family you've worked with or the best kid. What was that like? I mean, they came in and just they had the best success from your program. Like walk me through that a little bit, like what that looked like.
So it's, it's a self-paced course. It's a coaching course. It's online. The kids are going through it and there's feedback after each module they go through. And there was one kid who, so one of the modules talks about attention engineers and how tech companies have hire these people whose job it is to keep you on the device as long as possible so that they make lots of money. So when people say, oh, well, it's free, social media is free. No, it's not. No, it's not. Your eyeballs are the price of it.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so this one kid said, he goes, I didn't realize that they were manipulating me. That made me mad.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
awesome.
gonna
I
let
love
that
that.
happen.
That's
He was
awesome.
9. He was 9, and I'm
That's an
like,
amazing level of self-awareness, or just awareness too.
"Yes,
Like that's awesome.
yes," and that's what that's what we want, is that where kids are saying, we had another kid who said, "You know what? I'm actually spending less time on my device." This is a 5th grader. "Less time on my device because I realize what they're doing to me." So,
Yeah.
those are I'm like, "Yes, that's what we want. That's what we want." And the other one too is just in general with kids, realizing that it's okay if, like you had said to me earlier, that has to be kind of hard when everyone else has it.
Yeah.
But I think it's that awareness of, but look at how your life is.
Yeah.
Look at how you're anxious. So both my kids do not have social media accounts at all. And I already told you they're 22 and 18. It is not because my husband and I are like, yeah, can't have it.
Yeah. You can't
That,
do this. Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that has never come out of our mouths.
Yeah.
What it is basically me constantly talking about it. Now, when they were 14, 15, 16, yeah, we said, this isn't a good idea. These are the things that are going to
Yeah.
happen to you. I don't check their phone. I mean, one doesn't even live with us, but the one that does live with us, I don't go and check his phone because we've already had years of, here, these are the things I'm going to educate you. I'm going to show you. And my oldest has none. She actually put Pinterest on, and she called me a while ago and she said, "You know what? I took Pinterest off
Yeah.
because I would say to myself, oh, I'm just going to sit and scroll. I'm going to take a break from my college studies and I'm going to scroll through Pinterest." And she goes, "I would notice that 30 minutes turned into an hour." And she goes, "And I
Hmm.
know people would say, oh, that's not a big deal." She goes, "But it is, because what does that turn into next? What's the next step? That I'm going to be on it 2 hours?" So she said, "I just deleted it off my phone." And I was like, "Good for you." And then my son, he's a senior in high school, and a teacher was talking about, how do you connect with people outside? And they were all saying, "Oh, well, we do it on Instagram, we do it on
Hmm.
Snapchat." And the teacher said to my son, "Well, my daughter was like, oh, what's his, address so I can find him?" And Luke goes, "Well, you won't find me because I'm not on social media." And he said the class was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
Here's the
What? Yeah.
thing. They actually said, "How do you do that? Because we would like to do that."
Yeah. Wow.
What? So you're a loser because
Yeah.
you're not on social media. No one, like, I don't even think anyone knew whether he was or not, but when he said it, they were like, "That's amazing. How do we do that?" He's like,
That itself is telling.
"Yeah,
It's telling of like there's like that need, I think, or that, at least that awareness that people have of like, I don't want to be on this. I mean, I'll give a shout out to my wife, Miranda. I mean, she's probably one of the best people I know with this. She doesn't have really anything. Every once in a while, she'll get on Instagram, download it for a little bit just to follow up with her family. And then within a week, she's like, nope, I don't need it. And just delete it and gone. I like watching the funny stuff on like Facebook and Instagram. Like that's what I like the reels for. Anything I send her, I have to send it to her and then bring it to her and then watch it together, which is another fun way to do it. I can't send her things because she can't even log in to see most of them. So
yeah." See, that sounds like
yeah,
my
but it's
husband.
good.
I don't have Instagram. I don't have Facebook. He's like, "I
Yeah.
don't have them on my phone." So I do the same. Oh my gosh, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
"Hey, did you see this video?" He's like, "Kath," and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Here, let me show it to you."
She's on LinkedIn so that she can like my posts and look at them sometimes because I'm like, I don't want to bring my phone every time. Like, just follow my posts and like support me on there. She's like, okay, I'll have LinkedIn. So, but I think like I'm one of the only people she follows. So it is what it is.
And
All
you're a
right.
good one to follow.
Oh, thank you. Thinking about maybe someone who, if there's been anyone that didn't have success going through the program or maybe quit halfway, was there any story like that of someone that, or maybe a family that just struggled with this area?
So, that's a great question, because when we'll have people that will come in and say, "Okay, I want to try this," but their attitude, Jordan, before even trying it is, "Yeah, but I don't think it's going to work."
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, well, then how are you going to go through it? How are you going to expect your child to go through it with fidelity, with
Hmm.
sincerity, if you've already said, yeah, but I just don't think this is going to work. Those are the ones that I find are not going to be successful and aren't successful because we say, like, we'll give you your money back if you, now we never had anyone ask for their money back, but if you don't, if we, because we can see, by the way, we can see like how much is
Hmm.
being done, and we get the, because there's like little things that they have to do to check in and give feedback. If you're, if you're not doing it the right way, then you can't expect to get good results. And then it's almost that self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, well, I knew it was going to work. Well, of course it's not going to. Like my son always says, not with that attitude.
Yeah,
It's not going
exactly. Yeah. Let's skip to and talk about some, well, we already talked about this a little bit, some breakthrough moments. I mean, you shared
to.
one from the 9-year-old you shared. Have there
Yeah.
been any other major breakthrough moments for families or for kids that may have surprised you? That even you with knowledgeable, that very knowledgeable in this area have experience that would say, "Oh, I didn't expect that from this person,"
Mhm.
or I didn't expect it from someone's experience potentially.
So I think when like when you said breakthrough, this was like what immediately came to
Hmm.
mind. When someone comes in and asks me about what is it that you have, how can you help, and I'm not sure, I'm not ready yet, and that's fine. But my question is always, like, what are your options? You can do nothing, and then the path is they're going to continue down the same path. You could follow the crowd, which you see where that's leading to. And because again, like I said earlier, when people are looking around and everyone else is doing it and that just seems to be okay, but we know that that doesn't lead to good results. And so it's when the parents, for me, that breakthrough is when I can just ask those questions. Well, what are your options? What are you going to do if you don't want
Hmm.
to like address this now? When do you want to address it? Because it's not going to go away. And I had said in the beginning, I said, I help parents who are concerned about, and I coach their kids before they get their phone or social media shows up. And that's just it. Parents think, well, I'm just not going to give my kid a device. Well, the thing is they can go to someone's house and still be exposed to
True, true.
technology
Yeah,
that you're
yeah.
like, oh, wait, I didn't want that. Or what about in school? They have Chromebooks in school that I know
Hmm.
they say, oh, they're locked down.
Come
Okay.
on.
Come on. And then the other
Yeah.
one is when parents say, well, you know what? I'm really great with tech and I have parental controls. And that one, I am not a fan of parental controls because that puts it on the parent. That makes you
Hmm.
the one to have to control everything. But if you can have your kid understand the why don't you want them on social media? Why don't you want them to have a phone? Why aren't these things good? Because let's be honest, as parents, we're sitting there on our phones. So how are we saying to our kids it's not good? Well, it's because their brain isn't developed yet. They don't understand about this stuff. And when kids, that's what we do is we give the kids the why. It's okay, mom and dad, if you're struggling with like, well, I don't think they should have it, but I really can't explain it.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Because think about it. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
know that I can say something to a kid that they would give their parents a hard time about.
Yeah.
Where I mean, I saw it all the time when I was teaching. A kid,
Mm.
mom, the parents would come in for some art appreciation in school, and the kid would be like, "Mom, I want to go play in so and so's house after school." And so I was like, "Well, it's probably not a good idea because you have this, this, and this." And the kid starts arguing like in the classroom, and I'm like, Jordan, you're not going there after school. You have other things to do." And oh, okay. And I was like, "Wait,
Okay.
you can
Okay.
do
You're
that
right.
because I'm not the mom because I
Yep.
can
Yep.
say things that." The kids will receive differently because I'm not the parent. And I saw it with my own kids. I had other people say something and they'd be like, oh my gosh, did we tell you what so and so said? And I'm like, I said, I didn't say that, but I'm thinking
Yeah.
like, I didn't say it already the whole time.
I feel like that actually, this isn't a question, but it's something I want to talk about. So I think that touches on one of the powers of coaching is having that outside influence.
Mm.
Because I'm thinking of conversations that I've had with Miranda, again, my wife, like she says, we've talked about this, and it's almost like it's too close. There's things that of coaches that I've worked with have been able to tell me it's a similar situation to that to Jordan, like this is the way to go. And then Miranda will go, Jordan, I've been telling you that for years. And I'm like, you're right. I know you have. You have said those exact words to me, and I admit it. But it's different. It comes from a different space. So I think maybe it's just the family connection, or it's like friends, or it's having that different. I think having that different voice speak to you in that way, like yeah, in that situation, like it just makes so much difference. But it does say, like, I could see the parent being, I'm so annoyed that that worked because I said the exact same thing. But yeah, it's
Wait,
just kind of how it goes.
but like you said, like you do it with Miranda, and I'm sure she does it with you. I do it with Derek. He can say the exact same thing that
Hmm.
one of my friends could say, and I'd be like, you know what, you're right. And these are people that we love. These
Yeah,
are people that we're spending our life with. And because I think it comes down to it's human nature.
yeah.
We, the people closest to us, they don't, it's not that we don't love them. It's not that we don't respect them. It's just like you just hear them because you're with them all the time. You're like, oh, okay, here we go
Yeah.
again. The same thing. When someone else says it, they're like, wow. And so that's why I am like such a believer in coaching because
Hmm.
oh my gosh, if we want to, as people, to learn and grow, we have to be coached.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking particular in this case, kids,
Hmm.
let us coach kids because like why do we hire coaches for everything for our kids? But why don't we do it for technology? The one thing that can literally impact the rest of their lives
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's not been out there. I don't know anyone that is doing what we're doing. Like I
I've
don't. I'm
never
not
heard of
saying
it.
like I'm so special. I'm saying that I've never heard anyone that said, "Hey, let's get to the kids." Because parents have so much on their plate, they're overwhelmed. But let's go directly to the kids because that's the behavior you want to change. Because just the parent saying, like I said before, just the parent saying, oh, you shouldn't be on it. And then they're monitoring, they're trying to take control of
Hmm.
everything. But if you can get the kid on board, my gosh, that's that's what you want to be able to do is have the kid have that understanding of, oh, this is what's happening behind the scenes. Oh, it's not just that, I turned 13 and I should get a phone. Am I doing these little things in life? Like, do I make my bed? Do I, get my homework done and make sure it's the backpack the next day? Because those things matter. If they can't do those
Hmm.
things now, how is a phone going to make it better? And when someone says, oh, well, I don't know if they're going to have time. Okay. I guarantee if you give your kid a phone, they will find hours of time to be on the phone.
Oh yeah,
They,
of course.
they can find time. And when I tell you, that, I don't care if I develop this course, it's fun. It's engaging. I'm telling stories. It's on videos. None of the videos are long. They're a couple of minutes, and there's fun stuff to do along the way. They get badges when they complete stuff. It's fun, and it's not. Oh gosh, I have to sit down and do this thing now.
Hmm.
Something where they can engage with, and I really do. I think when it's someone else saying the exact same thing, it just makes such a difference.
Yeah, and I just like that from the sounds of it, what Conversation does is so empowering too. Like you said, it gives the kids the why, but it sounds so empowering and just kind of infusing them with the knowledge. So it's not just mom and dad saying, you can't have a phone. Okay. Because like you said, they go to a friend's house and then they're confronted with that. Then what are they going to do? They're going to think, oh,
Right.
mom and dad told me. Like no kid ever is going to think it's a great reason not to do something is because mom and dad said it. Like, come on.
Exactly.
I never ever had that thought when I was a kid, but as a kid thinking back, like I've never have thought that that's a great reason. If you can have your own reasons and think about it through what you shared before, your life and what you want your life to be and how your life is, yeah, you can have insights there and know what to do in those maybe not pressured situations, but in the moments where you're going to be there's going to be some yeah, you're not sure what to do. So, I
Yeah.
think that's great.
Yeah. And you don't want to wait until they're already exposed to it. You want to do that ahead of time.
Yeah.
So like I would talk to my students all the time in school. This is why you don't want to do drugs. This is why you don't want to drink alcohol. This is why you don't want to smoke cigarettes. These are the reasons. When you are exposed to it, when you have that opportunity, you're going to do what you want. I'm giving you the information so that you can make an educated decision. And it's the same way with technology. We can't just wait and like, oh, well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they should be on Insta. Maybe they shouldn't. Is Snapchat's okay? I don't know. You need to be having those conversations ahead of time so that when they go to their friend's house, and even if they don't have
Exactly.
it, they can say, oh, this is why I don't want to be on this. This
Yeah.
is why I don't want to do this because I know already. I'm
Hmm.
already educated.
Yep. Okay, let's talk about this because we kind of hinted at it a little bit ago. What areas have you been coached yourself? And then what have you learned through that? How has that helped you to become a better coach for these kids that are wanting that phone?
So I told you that I taught for 30 years,
Hmm.
and all I had to do was stand in front of 20 25 kids and teach. That was like nothing. So when I retired and came to the business, it was like I went from summer to winter in like a second,
Hmm.
where it's a completely different world. So
Yeah.
it's a funny story. I have a business partner. His name is John. And we were sitting in a meeting with some other people, and literally, this is what they're saying to each other. So, do you think this should be like B2B, B2C, D2C? And I say, I don't know, maybe it should be B2Z. And like everyone gets quiet and like looks at me. I just went, I have no idea what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
So my business partner is like, okay, so B2B is business to business, B2C is business to consumer. And it's like explaining it to me. And I'm like, thank you, because there is such a learning curve. We have this one coach that I'll tell you about in a bit, but we've had it for messaging, we've had it for marketing, we've had coaches for social media. I mean, just like a side note, my husband and I have a financial coach right now because I think it's so important because coaching says I want to learn. I
Hmm.
want to
Hmm.
grow. I want to get better. And so I think those things are, I think it's really, really important to do that. So we had this one coach, her name is Francine, and she is just amazing. And one of the things that we have a sign on the wall that says, do it messy, do it afraid, just do it. And Jordan, it was like we both actually needed that because we were getting so stuck in, but we have to have everything
Yeah.
perfect. We have to have everything just so before we do this. And she's like, you have to take action. You have to do it messy. You have to do it when you're scared. Just do it. And that has been for us such a driving force in getting our stuff out. I mean, that was before we even had conversation in schools. And I mean, I think I've told you, like, we've rebranded on which Conversation, it's still called Conversation for Schools, but we've rebranded to Digital Prep Academy because then
Hmm.
parents aren't like, huh, what is Conversation? What does that mean? With
Yeah.
Digital Prep Academy, they're like, oh, so it's something about like digital and you're prepping them before, like, yeah, so they
That's
get
a
it.
good name. I like that. I like that name too.
So that's for me, I just think coaching is just so important too. And so when you said, how has it helped me? Because I think like anything that when you work on yourself, that makes you better in other areas. And I used to say that I was a teacher and then I had kids. And I'm telling you, Jordan, 100%, I became a better teacher because I was a parent. I mean,
Hmm.
without a doubt. And I think I learned about parenting through my teaching. And I think it's the same way that when we're coached by other people speaking into our lives, we can say, okay, all right, that's what I learned here. How can I take that and use that in whatever I'm doing? And I think as adults, especially because I am coaching kids. And again, it's, the course is self-paced and they're, taking everything and like watching the videos on it. But
Hmm.
still, I'm talking to kids. I remember what it was like when I'm in front of the classroom, and that's what I'm doing is I'm talking to kids because I get it. I get how they think, how they feel. And from what I've learned, I was coaching some social media stuff. And it's like that actually helped me videos. Do you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It just because it was in social media, but then that helped me with videos. And then the videos is like, how is the messaging short and concise to get the point across? So all of that has helped. And it's not just whatever it is. We had someone coach us in messaging. And that is, we've changed the messaging multiple times along the way, but it's just those little things where we look back and say, oh, what did they talk about? And it can just be one thing that maybe over 6 months. But to me, that's worth it.
Yeah. And I think, just by the way, your videos are some of the best on LinkedIn. They're so good. So anyone listening to this should definitely follow you. You can share your LinkedIn at the end, but just want to say your videos are fantastic because you go in there, you do it, you talk about it, and they're good quality. You can tell that maybe not tell that you've worked on it because I don't know what they were before, but they're good. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's like anything when I first started, just like anything, Jordan, you first start on anything, we're not good.
Yeah.
And we
No.
want to be. And we think, oh, well, maybe it'll get better. And that's just it. You have to do it and then it'll get better. And I remember when I first started doing videos, I had said to my husband, can you watch the video? What do you think? And then finally, after, I don't know, like 5 times, he's like, you are doing great. You don't have to ask me. Just put it out there. He
Yeah.
goes, because what does it matter? What does it matter? Like, it's not going to change. The video is already out there. You're asking me afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to do it. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, it's not that bad. But if you asked me in the beginning, I was like,
Yeah. So, Kathy, of the things that you've worked on and done to grow Digital Prep Academy, to kind of grow conversation and to start those conversations, has been the most successful for you in general for finding people, for reaching families, for getting course sales or whatever it is? What has been the most successful?
so really it's funny because we talk about how you don't want, kids to be on phones, you don't want to be on social media. And where are we marketing? On social media.
Social media. Yeah.
Because I know it's almost like antithetical, but you have to go to where the people are.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because when we first started this, we are going to email and we're going to put it in the paper. And we've learned that that's not where people are. People are on social media, and that's where we need to market to, is on social media. It's been interesting because I started on LinkedIn probably a little over a year ago. And I'm telling you, Jordan, I thought I didn't do videos in the beginning. Oh, you know what? Everyone's going to love it. And they're going to comment and like, and
Yeah. No, it
because
takes time.
it takes time.
Yeah.
So we're on like all the different platforms, but even that, it still takes time for it to grow, for people to hear about it, to get the message out. And again, I've been on LinkedIn for more than a year now. And this part where we're talking about Digital Prep Academy, where we're coaching kids, and someone said to me recently, oh, well, that's the hard part, is because we have to explain it to our kids and we just don't get it. I'm thinking, wait, that's like literally what I say I do. I'm the
Yeah.
one that does it. You don't have to worry about it.
I'm
And I'm
helping with that.
thinking,
Yeah.
oh no. And it wasn't like a bad comment. It just made me realize that it doesn't matter how much you put out there. You have to keep saying the same thing in your messaging.
Yeah.
This is what we do. This is who we serve. This is how we help. Because even if we think, it's like, Jordan, I know that you're a ghostwriter and you can help people write books and you're going to take them through the whole like, I know that because you've said the same thing on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
And I do follow you. So of course I know that. But there could be someone who's listening to this and saying, oh, I didn't know that about Jordan. You'd be like,
Yeah.
wait, I've been like posting on there for a
Yeah.
year and almost 2 years. What do you mean you don't know? But we can't even think that way because if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah. And that I will second that as far as repetition. I mean, even when I launched my book last year, I'm like, I felt like that I was posting about it all the time. And sometimes I would still have people write in the comments, "Oh, Jordan, congrats on your first book," or which this is not even close to my first book. But what do they know? And it's how do they think it's my first book? I'm like, well, have I said? And like, we always need to be questioning, how am I saying it? How often am I saying it? Because yeah, people would come in and just say congrats or get messages, Jordan, I didn't know you were writing a book. That's really cool.
Like I've written like 9 of them.
Like,
I
how
like
many
15
times have
of
I
them.
said how many times have I said this, but it's okay. And reusing content, repurposing content, saying the same things.
Yeah.
As long as you're not sounding like a broken record, you can say it a little bit different. But I agree with that 100%. That has taken me a lot of time to get more used to that and more comfortable because
Yeah.
I always want to be creative. I want to share something new and exciting, and you can do that too. It can be interesting, but it's also okay to say some of the same things.
And come out and say, I'm a 20-year mom, a 30-year teacher with 67,000 hours working with kids. And she said, oh my gosh, I didn't realize all of that. And I'm like, what? Wait, I felt like everyone knew. And like, even when you said to me in the beginning, I didn't know you taught fourth grade your entire
Hmm.
30-year career. And like, Jordan, I just thought everyone knew
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
And so those are things that, because that's like my street cred. I mean, seriously, I don't know anyone who has 67,000 hours working with kids. Like, my business partner actually figured it out. He's like, how many hours do you have? I'm like, I don't know. And it's like, not just um a psychologist and I work with kids, but like, I'm talking with kids. That's a long time
A lot.
working. That's a lot of hours. And when they say 10,000 hours makes you an expert,
Yeah, you're like
even
seven
at
times that.
yeah, but I wouldn't call myself an expert. And my husband's like, but I would. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Anyway,
Like you're an
I would,
expert at that point. Like there's no one else that's gonna beat you at that point. So yeah,
but I still want to learn.
yeah,
I still want to grow because sometimes I think in our heads, we think, oh, an expert, they're already there. And I never want to have that, oh, I've arrived. I don't want to ever think that in life that I've arrived. I want it to be a constant, what can I learn? What's something new that I can learn today that can make today better and then make tomorrow better as well.
yeah, 100%. I mean that's kind of my. So I agree with that. It's definitely one of my core values. That's part of what I do. I always want to be. I mean, that's why I've written so many of my own books. Is I want to be in the process. I want to be practicing what I preach. Right. I want to be in that world. I want to have skin in the game, and I think it's just another. Just that's a whole separate topic in and of itself. But it's just yeah. I mean, I think that's important, and just being willing to always be learning and always be potentially doing things wrong or failing, and people, no one's going to judge you for that. I think most people are going to support you, and most people are going to say, wow, that's awesome that you tried, even if it ends up not working out. It's better that you're doing it, you're posting videos. And I can't tell you how many people come to me, or I've heard people say like, I want to start doing videos but I'm scared to do them. Okay, if you want to start doing them, being scared of doing it is not a great reason not to do it, especially if
Yeah.
you have something to share. It's scary at first to do videos in general, but then
Yeah.
to put your face out there on social media too. It's not easy, but
Yeah. And like you just said, you have to go out and try it and no one's judging you. And I think
hmm
that I boogie board. Okay.
I didn't
Not
know that.
I am not a great boogie boarder. I've been doing it for 2 years. I'm not riding whitewater. Like, I'm actually
Yeah.
catching waves and I can like turn a little bit and ride the wave in. Okay. Am I would say on a scale of poor to great, I'm like fair. Like fair. I'm just like okay. And this summer, so this was the second summer I was doing it. And I remember saying to my husband, I don't know, do this actually boogie boarding was scarier than doing videos. I was like,
Mm.
what if people are looking at me and thinking, oh, why is that 55-year-old out boogie boarding? She's so dumb. And a lifeguard heard me say it to Derek, and he like gets off the stand. He's like, Kathy, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, now people are like, wow, look at that 55-year-old. That's cool that she's trying it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, that moment right there, Jordan, like changed everything for me. Because I
That's
was
cool.
serious. I was like, I had my boogie board, I had my fins, and I was standing there going, I don't know if I should go out because people are gonna think I'm like, they're like, what are you talking about? Just do it. Like if you're so worried about what everyone else is thinking, like how do you do anything in life then?
How
That's
do you try anything new? How do you try a new sport for the first time? Like you're just saying. You could find something that you love, like boogie boarding. But yeah, if you were afraid to do it, maybe people that are doing LinkedIn or whatnot will find that they love doing videos. And then if you find out you hate them, that's fine too. You don't have to
yeah,
do them. But there could be something there. You're like, actually, I really enjoy talking about this. This is a really easy way for me to make content. That's why I like going on podcasts myself. I always tell it to Miranda. This feels like the easiest way for me to share about what I do and some of the best marketing that I can do. And then
yeah.
she's like, of course, you need to get on more podcasts. I'm like, you're right. I'm gonna go do that. Which she's told me like thousands of times. I need to have someone else tell me, probably, to go back to
Yeah,
what we
see,
were
I
talking
think you
about
should get on
before.
more podcasts,
Okay,
Jordan.
you know what, Kathy, you're so
You'd
right.
be like,
I should.
Miranda, guess what?
Guess what
I
Kathy
think you
said?
should.
Like what Kathy said really stuck with me today. All right, so we're getting to the end of this podcast. We've had really good conversation so far. I always want to ask this question to make sure that people get to say what they need slash want to say. So, Kathy, if you have a soapbox in this area, in coaching, in teaching, in parenting, anything that is your soapbox, I mean, please feel free to stand on it and let's talk about
Okay. All right. So I've this is a great question because I was like, ooh, I have
it.
something.
Oh, I'm ready. Yeah.
Okay. So first is keep your kids away from tech as long as possible. I just think that it is something that parents say it's hard, but if you start off with not giving them technology, it is not as difficult as you think just because everyone else is doing it. This kind of like makes me a little crazy. I'm going to tell you some things that I see. Like I go into a restaurant and there's a family sitting there and they hand the 2-year-old an iPad.
Mm,
I'm like I want to go over to them and say, you can literally bring anything. Like we used to do a go out to eat bag and it had dinosaurs and stickers and coloring books and
mm.
Play-Doh and Legos, just anything in there that the kid can play with. And I'm telling you, it's like so much better for the kid to be on that instead of, and I want to be like, I should go out to the eat bag now. And when I see it, I should go over and give them like something
Yeah,
for
like
their,
here's your bag. That could be cool.
that's what I was going to say. I was
That's
going
a
to
way
tell
of
my
marketing
husband,
for you, potentially a little
yes.
like bookmark or something that says,
And
"Here's the
I
go
did
bag.
it.
Sign up for my course." Like,
I have like for my I told you my kids are older. We have a little game of Trouble. Or that game where you like press the
yep,
little thing in
I
it.
remember that.
We have a mini one of those. We bring it
Cool.
into restaurants. We bring in little books of crossword puzzles or word searches or Sudoku. That's what we do in a restaurant while we're talking to each other. Not like no one's allowed to bring a phone. We just say I bring the phone for time, and then I'm just not looking at it.
Yeah.
So another thing that makes me crazy. So you go to say an event, a concert, a ball game, and everyone in the family is sitting there on their device. They're not even
Yeah.
watching the game. And I want to go over and say, why just spend the money if you're not even going to be looking at whatever you came
Yeah.
here to see?
Why are you
Um,
here?
yes, exactly. And this is another one that makes me a little crazy. I'll go to the beach and this is say it's sunrise. I'm taking a walk and I will see 11, 12, 13-year-old girls in their bikinis and they're taking pictures of themselves or taking pictures of each other with the duck lips.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what are they doing? They're going to post it on Instagram. They're going to post it on Snap. And I just want to say, do you realize that that's not what your value is? Your value is
Hmm.
not in what other people are saying. Because why are you posting those pictures? Where you're posting them to get the comments, to get the likes, to make you feel better. And I just wanted to say, like, no, you're worthy just as you are.
Hmm.
Um, one of the other, so when I talk to kids, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? I hear this a lot. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be an influencer. And, and I'm kind in how I say it, but you know what? You actually have a better chance of being in a professional sport like the NFL, the NBA,
Yeah.
NBA, or even being a movie star than you have of being an influencer or a YouTuber. And the odds actually of having mental health issues rises exponentially when you're trying to do things that are on social media because it's made to not make you feel good. So I have something else too. Sorry, I'm
I
on my
love it.
soapbox now.
All get them all out. Yeah.
Okay, so another one that kind of makes me like, are the number of books that are out there. I'm not going to name anyone in particular, but just the number of books that are out there that talk about, oh, well, you wanted technology and you don't want to have your kids on social media and you don't want to do all of this stuff. And people buy the books, but they don't read them because I'll say, oh, have you read this book? Oh, yeah, I have it on my
We
nightstand.
have it. Yeah.
But the people that have read them, I always ask, okay, so what were the solutions? And that's just it, is that they can't name solutions. So I have read every book that there is out there, probably multiple times. And they're great in pointing out the problem, but they're not great in providing the solution. And the solution that they do give are solutions where the parents have to put filters in place, put parental controls on, where they're the ones who are still having to do all of the work. And the thing is you haven't invited the kids into the conversation. And that kind of makes me crazy that that's not an answer. Just saying you can't have it is not an answer. You need to give the kids the why. And then
Yep.
here is parenting thing that, so I'll go on and on some type of social media and someone will say, happy birthday to my best friend. So of course, Jordan, I'm thinking they're talking about an adult. No, they're talking about their child. You're not your child's friend. You're their
Yeah. How old are the
oh,
kids then?
like two. Like
Yeah, that's a little cringe,
that's and
honestly.
like to me, that's if you want a solid relationship with when your child's 15, you don't start it when they're 15. You
No.
start it literally from day one. It's just it's hard to say no. Let me tell you, it is a lot easier to say no to a 2-year-old and be able to guide and direct their path than it is to a 15-year-old. And it just makes me sad that parents, like we're adults, let's have adult friends. Don't be your child's friend, because I'm telling you, I saw it in teaching. I see it here now, that when you try to do that, you actually make not only your life more difficult, but you
Yeah.
make your child's life more difficult, because kids want and need boundaries.
Yeah.
They do. And that's what makes them feel safe is, you know what? I don't like that my mom and dad said, I can't do this. I don't like that my mom and dad didn't give me a phone until I was 15. But now, like both my kids say, we thought it was kind of annoying that you didn't,
Yeah.
but now they're saying we appreciate it
Yeah.
because we realize that, you know what? You were right. I'm like, yeah, that's because dad and I are the adults because we are doing what's best for you. And so that's so I'm gonna step off. Those are my things that like kind of make me go, on my
No, I
soapbox.
love it. Thanks so much for sharing. I mean, I feel a lot of those same things. I definitely have the similarity in the book soapbox. That's one of my biggest pet peeves and maybe soapboxes, and I won't spend like 10, 20 minutes that I would need to talk about it, but just the idea that most books out there, I think, especially the traditionally published books, the ones that are in the marketplace, they don't have those action steps. They don't have the solutions because what sells, and we perpetuate this as readers, what sells is reading about the problem, thinking about the problem, buying the book, putting it on the nightstand. This is what I did about that problem. I
Mm,
bought the book. So even if I read the book, I'm just going to read the beginning and then not put that into practice anyway. So
yeah.
the people that make books realize this, that people want that. And I have always been trying to fight that. Like, no, let's put action in the book. Let's make it very practical. And it sells, but it doesn't sell as well as just talking about the problem, unfortunately. But I'm still working at that. I'm going to pave the way. Hopefully, the more books I write, the more projects I'm involved in to fight that. But we'll see.
And it's hard
Yeah.
because it's almost like we like, misery loves company. Oh, there's a problem. Well, I might just keep reading about it. Yeah,
Yes.
but I want
Yeah.
to, like, what's the solution and how do you implement that solution? And that's what I don't find when, oh, have you read this book? It's a great book. Yes, but what are the solutions? I mean, I
Yeah.
actually, I'll be careful in how I say it. So I did a book club and we were talking about this book and so I said, okay, next is chapter, whatever it was, towards the end of the book, like
Yeah.
chapter 11 out of 12. And I said, this one has some, like, it's saying that has the answers. Someone goes,
Yeah.
finally,
Yeah.
finally, we read like 300 pages. We finally get to maybe get a solution. I was like, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
Like, that's just it. Like, we kind of want the solutions, but if you have to read through a book that's 400 pages, and then at the end, you're not satisfied that you actually got something actionable, like, this is why I don't read books. Okay, well, you have to tell me, is there like some type of thing that like 95% of people actually never read a book cover to cover? Isn't it something crazy like that?
Oh, it's definitely up there. I haven't seen the stat recently, but I'm sure it's up there. At least if you consider the amount of people that will skip the introduction or skip the first chapter. I mean, that's pretty high. And yeah, but it makes sense because again, those books just go on for too much. They go on for 400 pages of they describe the problem extremely well. They're so good at describing the problem. And then, yeah, when you get to the end, you're burnt out. You're not ready for the
They
solutions
just need
anyway,
the
even
direction.
if they're gonna add a chapter of solutions. So, so it is what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Kathy, this has been an amazing conversation. I've loved every minute of it, every second of it. Where can people find you and connect with you?
All right. So you can connect with me. So under Digital Prep Academy, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and we are actually going up on YouTube probably either Friday or Monday under Digital Prep Academy. And on LinkedIn, you can find me under Kathy Van Benthuysen. And if you wanted to email me, it is Kathy at Converlation, Kathy with a K, and then Converlation is CONVERLATION.com. Because I really like, I don't want parents to struggle with whether they should get their kid their first phone or social media.
Yeah.
That's what we do is I coach them through it.
Amazing. I love that. I will make sure all the links to all those things are in the show notes that anyone listening to this can go on and easily click on those. Or what they should have already done is just typed in what you said as we were listening to it. Just gone right there, especially if they have kids. Well, let me ask one last question. Age ranges typically that would work with you, kids.
So we so I'm going to give you an age range, but then I'm going to qualify it.
Cool.
We say that it's say 8 to 13. However, if a parent is thinking that their 6-year-old should have a phone, have them go through this course. And if your 6-year-old can't go through this course or won't, then they're not ready for a phone.
Yeah.
So, because I've someone who's 7 said, I think they should get a phone and TikTok. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you didn't just say that.
Yeah. And maybe you said that in the beginning. I couldn't remember. So I wanted to make sure that was out there, that it would immediately stick in people's minds. Okay, I'm in that range. Maybe I should think about this. So thank you for that. Kathy, thank you so much for your time. Super appreciate it, as always. It's been wonderful talking to you. Thanks again.
Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate it.
Are you still here listening to this podcast? You're awesome. I got 2 CTAs for you. Number 1, subscribe to this podcast for more. And number 2, have you ever thought about writing a book? Contact Jordan. He can help you out. Jordan at jamring.com.